In the old days, say 300 years ago, 200 years ago, um, Benjamin Franklin, um, back back when he was considered to be the Renaissance president. He was the guy who who helped us talk to the French in helping us to get. I guess the we we needed them to help us out in some war or something like that, or gain independence from Britain or something. But he was the guy who really could just talk to any country or whatever and get get things done, get things going. And he's I kind of identify more with him than any of the others because he was a jack of all trades. He had lots of talent in various areas, and one of the things that he liked to do was go out and dig in the dirt, and um, so he was an archaeologist in a sense, and he would dig up things, or he would buy things from far off places or collect things from his travels, and he had allotted a whole bunch of curiosities, things that he couldn't really describe what they were, but they were of a maybe pieces of pots, or the skull of an alligator, things that would have a certain amount of, they could just sit and kind of look at and observe and think about. And he put these things into an area of his house, where he would have like drawers and shelves, and he would stick these things up there. And Rembrandt had one too, and what they were called was curio cabinets, and they're curiosities. And so what you would do is you would eat dinner, and you'd have your friends over, you would eat dinner. One thing they would do is they would go out and have a walk, and this was called walking your constitution, and that was that you were trying to get all of the food, get your system worked up, and it would cause you, I guess, to stay awake a little bit while your food digests, and so get everything moved around inside of the digestive system. Then you would come back and you would take things off of the shelves of the curio cabinet and kind of observe them, and that was their kind of entertainment. Or they might sing a song or something, but they'd occupy themselves with poetry, looking at items off the shelf, or whatever it was, some sort of entertainment, because they didn't have television, they didn't have radio. At best, they probably have some stories to tell each other, maybe some songs to sing. Maybe they would have a guitar or something that they could play. Not like a modern guitar. It would be something from the old day, a mandolin or something. I don't know. And that was their form of entertainment. The curio cabinets, historians trace back what is today our museums back to those curio cabinets, because that was the first, because that was how people collected together artifacts. They didn't have a central museum. There was no museums at the time. The closest thing you had to a museum was those cabinets where people would keep all of their curiosities. And I guess once someone had allotted a whole bunch of them, they started to put them in buildings, and that's what began the whole idea of the museum, because people would come far and wide to look at people's curiosities, and then, you know, cities needed to have things like that, like they need to have libraries. Libraries were an idea to bring together the collection of books that people had so that they wouldn't be out buying books. They could have them all together in one place. And, you know, before there was the internet, you had libraries, and the libraries were funded by the town or the city where you were at, just as they are now. And that was how people came to develop an education. It wasn't until after the Gutenberg press that people really started to get access to things like even the Bible. Um, Having access to the Bible was such a luxury after the Gutenberg press, that people really valued having access to that resource, as well as the other books that were available, and things that you would only find in special libraries that were maintained, and nobody could take out the, the books because they were fairly large and meticulously kept together and fixed. And if there were in, you know, they might even have in the what's in the margin what's called well, the margins, there was writing, and that's actually something you should do with a book, is use the margins for writing little notes, so that the next time somebody comes through and reads the book, the little notes will help them to make use of the information that's on the page. It's something that's just always been done, and I think even if you look at older texts, older books from the medieval times, people would write in the margins, and they would leave little messages and stuff to make it easier for people to make use of the information, to translate what, or to water down the concept of what was being said in that part of the text. Anyhow, just sharing a little bit of information that I've collected over the years. So